Hi everyone, my name is Madison Turner, and this is my app called Aging Healthy that helps older adults age in place by staying physically active. Okay, so what is the problem? If you didn't get to watch my first video, basically the problem is that there is reduced physical activity as aging occurs. So older adults are not getting enough physical exercise. Once you hit 18, you're really supposed to be getting 30 minutes of exercise a day, and a third of older men and a half of older women are actually hitting those numbers. Um, Older adults may experience loss of strength and stamina, high blood pressure due to hypertension, arthritis, anxiety, and depression. So those are obviously things that are not conducive to aging in place. And a fun fact is, so according to the AARP, 85% of older adults that are 65 and over want to stay in their current homes as they age. So that's obviously an overwhelming majority, and why I think that this app could be popular amongst older adults if they would accept the technology. So the target user is obviously the older adult. So there needs to be some kind of interest in aging healthily, because I mean, you need to want to adopt it or you will not. And it's designed for those that are still in their homes, but it's not completely limited to just those people. I mean, this could be something that, a group of older adults in some kind of home facility use together. Another subset of target user would be those with some health limitations. So ideally, this app would be able to help people with things like back problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, really anything like that, also get exercise in the proper way. Okay, so here is my refined design. I obviously am not a great artist and did not have a lot of color to choose from, but basically, so here would be kind of this first phone would be kind of the main page, and there would be really only 2 to 3 sections in this app. So the first one would be exercises. What I would like for this app to do is for the older adult to be able, by different, categories. So like here would obviously be by group, by muscle group. The older adult would be able to click into that and find a video that would work for them. So let's say you did click this by group. It would take you over here to this second phone. Let's say you chose back exercises. So here that is. If you have, back problems, you could click on this filter button and filter that in, and it would take out the videos that may be too strenuous for someone with a back problem. And ideally, this would be a very simple, easy to remove process. The filter button should, be in some kind of color the older adult sees, easy to understand, that kind of thing. Then back to the first phone here, there would be a meetup section. So basically, the older adult would be able to go into this and type in their zip code. And the way I want that to work is for there to be, one of those big number keypads that pops up, like sometimes when you're typing in a telephone number, so the older adult can see it, type it in properly, that kind of thing. And then once the zip code is typed in, it'll pull up either other individual people or group classes of, other people that may want to meet up and do some of the exercise videos together. You would already have your contact information in there, so the older adult could very easily click contact and it would shoot that person an email or text, whatever they signified at the beginning when they set up their account, that someone wants to work out with them in that area. I would also like for there to be some kind of call 911 feature on, maybe something that could also be hooked up to Siri, I don't know, but some kind of feature to where if the older adult is doing one of these exercises and they get into trouble, there's a large button they can press. So some things I have over here, some highlights to talk about. Obviously, couldn't do a good job of it in this picture, but I would really like for there to be a dark font on a light background, so ideally black on white, something like that. The call 911 feature, I'd like that for be in red, so it really pops out and the older adult can really notice it. The filter for exercises that I mentioned earlier, I know sometimes filters can be complicated, and I want, maybe when I'm doing some of my evaluations, see what filter setup is the best for the older adult. Something that's not pictured here would be an alarm feature where the older adult could set up to say at 3 p.m. I want to exercise. And like we talked about in some of the previous lectures, the alarm needs to be super easy to turn off. It needs to be loud enough the older adult can hear it, but it doesn't need to be startling, super alarming. So there's some things that would go into that alarm feature. The escape key, very important. Some kind of, easy to distinguish, whether it's a backspace kind of back arrow or a just huge large X, something to where if the older adult, for whatever reason, is super confused as to where they've gotten in the app, they, can click this button and it takes them back to the home page. And also the zip code with the pop-up pad, like I mentioned earlier. Some of my original designs did have like a food diary and that kind of thing, but I decided that would just, be too much, maybe too cognitively taxing. So I removed it to keep it simple. This is about staying physically active, physically healthy, and that will go into mental health as well. So some evaluations. The first one I would like to do is a questionnaire. Why questionnaire? Honestly, I'm just familiar with questionnaires. I've filled out questionnaires myself. You get good feedback, especially if you do open-ended questions, what kind of questions? Open-ended. So I would also like to do some Likert scale questions. Over here on the right, you can see just a sample that I made. How easy did you find navigating aging healthy? Not easy to use, all the way to easy to use. What would you improve? That's open-ended. Did you find the meetup aspect of the app to be something you consider using? Why or why not? So hopefully they would be able to try those features out, answer the questions. The next would be a heuristic evaluation. Why? Honestly, to me, this seems methodical, scientific, super in-depth. You get experts' opinions and severity ratings, so you really know what the problem is. Someone who knows better than I can fix it. That kind of thing. A couple of the heuristics that I thought would be really good for this app would be visibility of system status. I don't want the older adult to ever feel like they just have no idea what's going on the page and they don't know where they are, that kind of thing. User control and freedom. I want them to really feel like they're in control of the app and know how to use it. And then recognition and recall. They should be able to, figure it out one time, even if, someone's helping them do that. And then the next time be like, I know exactly what to do. I'm trying to find this exercise video. I know what I'm looking for and I know how to find it. And they can recall that information easily. And finally, user testing. I think this is a user-oriented application, so why not do user testing? Another reason to do user testing is because not only is this using technology, but also physical activity is required. So, I want to be sure, are these exercises that an older adult can do? How strenuous are they? If someone does have back problems and chooses to use that filter, which videos are not okay? Maybe have some experts help with the user testing. And honestly, and this applies to, all three evaluations, but I want to learn if this is something that will really help older adults age in place, because if it doesn't, then, it's not helpful. And, to figure out which parts of the app work and which do not. So, if the meetup feature just really doesn't work, scrap that, figure something else out. So there are many psychosocial considerations, and I think personally ethics might be one of the most important, especially, when talking about older adults. So my main concern would probably be the meetup feature. What I don't want is for, predators to be able to pretend like they're older adults and try to meet up with other older adults. So I'd like there maybe to be, when you sign up for the app, maybe have to agree to submit to a background test, something like that. Just so the app knows that you are this person. Maybe instead of individual meetups, make them all group meetups, and have a physical trainer there to help. The exercise videos, I don't want to put anything on the app that, we know an older adult cannot do, will hurt them. And acceptance is super important, especially with application. I mean, this requires accepting technology, accepting the iPhone, accepting an app, accepting exercising in that way. So I really want to increase the perceived usefulness. I want the older adults to feel like this app is designed for them in mind, and perceived ease of use. So large fonts, easy layout, easy stream of thought. Everything needs to be, simple. So I believe this technology will help support aging in place. There's just physical exercise is really the best thing you can do as you age. We really are supposed to be getting 30 minutes a day for five to 6 days of the week. Exercise has been shown to prevent disease, improve mental health, decrease risk of falls, which is not good for the older adult, increase social engagement, and improve cognitive functions. Not only is this helping you physically feel better and physically live longer, but it's really helping your mental health, and that's really the most important thing to me. Thank you for watching.